Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, she's well known in the world of architecture and interior design, and she's going to share what she's learned from traveling the globe. Her story just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, anytime you go into an office building, a restaurant, a store, you get a vibe, and that vibe is created often by the architect. To talk a little bit about that, Margine Biswas, she is the founder of Archiphy Architects and Interiors. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's start at the very beginning, because you were telling me before we went on that you have always been inspired by design, and you've always been interested in art.
That's right. I started my education as an art major, and then while I was in college, I realized that my love for architecture was equally important. So I decided to double major in both art and architecture. So while I was in college, I had the opportunity to travel with the university. I had the opportunity to go to Italy, to a small town called Castiglione Fiorentino near Florence. There we were able to study from whatever we were reading in the books. We went and traveled to different cities, including Rome, Pisa, all of these places where we were exposed to what we were studying, and that's how my initial love increased even more.
And do you find that the colors, the textures, some of the designs that you saw around the globe influence your current work?
Yes, I think that everything has influenced my work, especially because after that experience when I was with the university, a group of friends decided to take the Ural path and travel through Europe. And we had just experienced learning and experiencing the spaces that while we were traveling, we were actually looking at all this urban living, the plazas and different places in Spain, France, Greece. And we were able to discuss what we were experiencing and how society was able to grow from the small villages into these larger cities. So those things, urban design is something that I find very interesting and has been part of my work ever since.
Absolutely, and I'm so impressed with her portfolio. We're going to pull up the page, and as we scroll down some of these projects, I'm sure that you will recognize some of these. Some of these are very famous restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, and I'm impressed at the breadth of your work, from medical to multifamily, offices, restaurants, retail, sports. You must look at every day as a new challenge.
Yes, and that is interesting that you had just mentioned that my portfolio was so much variety. When I started, my very first job in architecture was in an architecture firm that was dedicated only to educational projects. And while I was there, I realized I want to do more. I want to experience what my clients want to see, not only just one aspect of architecture. And that is the reason I have been very fortunate to find clients that have given me the opportunity to do such wide range of projects.
Absolutely. You were telling me a story right before we went on about a particular project on Knox Street that inspired you.
Yes, it is Knox Bistro. That project is on the intersection of Travis and Knox Street. That is an interesting project because during construction, the contractor passed away. And the owner was very sensitive and decided to continue the project, with the same team. And during that time, I became more involved in the project, trying to resolve any situations that were coming along, as the main person that was the main representative of the construction firm was no longer there. I made it a point to be more available during the whole process. So it is, the project was successful. It was a very, difficult project, not only because of what happened, but also in the area where it is. It is a growing area, and so the city of Dallas was providing some constraints about how we could develop that area. So it is, in that way, it became a very meaningful project, very interesting project.
And I'm sure that his widow was just so grateful that she had you to, work with her throughout the whole process.
Yes, I just made myself available in any way I could, and we did have many conversations through the process.
Sure. And I know you're proud of your team. We've got some pictures off of Facebook. You exhibit at different trade shows, and tell me more about your team.
Sarai, this is just with me in that picture. She has been a part of Archiphy for probably 5 or 6 years. We've been doing many projects together. And she's a great, incredible person that has, been behind the firm throughout the growth of it.
Sure. And it's really important that the architect and the contractors work well together, because architects, I guess, can come up with ideas, but you also have to have a good working relationship with the construction company to make it all work together.
Yes, we work with many contractors through the process. We're always available whenever they have any questions. And we try to explain to our clients that, the entire process of the project. We have to let them know that the construction documents are the contract with the contractor. So they have to understand what is in there, that if something is not there, the contractor will not build it or will charge extra to build it. So they must understand the construction documents, and we are there to teach them how to read those documents.
It must feel nice to kind of drive down the street and say, I did that project, I did that project. What does that feel like?
It is very rewarding, yes. Very, very nice to, sometimes when, I see something, I am amazed that we designed it.
Yeah. Or even going out to eat on Knox Street and saying, wow, I did this. I remember when it was just an idea.
That's right, yes. Yes, very rewarding, yes.
Outstanding. Okay, in the little time we have left, what would you like to leave the audience with about, this finding your passion and living your best life?
I feel like, that I am very passionate about the growth of cities and how certain types of constructions or buildings become like a destination point. So I have studied why this happens, and so these types of communities that are coming up now, that are mixed-use communities, have been growing from these from these concepts from the ancient world. And for me, bringing all of these projects together, for example, residential and commercial projects, and bringing them all in like a mixed-use community, is like a culmination of what I've been doing throughout this time, and what I find the most rewarding in the end.
Outstanding. Well, you've been an amazing guest. We're going to have you back again. We're going to end with the website, which is archiphy.com. Thank you so much, Margine. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
That's it for now. We'll see you next time.